Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's update. I hope that you and your families are well and have managed to get through quite a difficult week, if I'm honest. The weather has not been great. It wasn't what we expected coming back to school. And I really just want to spend today just explaining the decisions we go through as to how we make that decision whether we open or close. Now, as I have said previously, I will always start the position of we are open. I think it's really, really important that we keep the school open for everyone for a number of reasons. You know, during COVID, it was seen as an essential service. We were open during lockdown because I think the government quite rightly at that point recognised the role that schools play in supporting the economy, in supporting families to work and all of those other things. So it's really serious, you know, to close a school. You know, I go on about attendance all the time, you know I do. And so I feel it's unfair for me to say, look, you've got to get your children into school and then us close when it gets a little bit difficult. So one of the first factors we've got to decide is whether the site is safe. The site team were phenomenal this week. They have kept it clear. They've kept the paths clear. They've gritted them. It's been a really, really fantastic effort, Herculean effort from the site team. So we've got to make sure the site is safe, staff can get in, and it's safe for children. Now, there's some health and safety factors, but the moral factors of opening the school are really important as well, because I recognise how many of you need to get out and work, and as soon as we close the school, you might have to stay home. That's lost earnings. You know, doctors were there, dentists were there, you know, nurses were there, the health service was there, people, self-employed people were getting to work, you know, we still had milk delivered, all of those are the things. So we recognise actually it's really important that we provide that service, especially in the primary school. You know, sometimes it's easier to leave secondary school children at home. But you can't leave primary school children at home. So we know that the role that we play there. You've also then got, if children are at home, you've got to heat, you've got to feed them, you know. The free school meals, it's really important, again, that we give everybody an opportunity and we make sure they've got a hot meal, it's warm in school. So these are all the factors that we then play. I think, as I've said, also education is essential. We know that for life chances, for employment opportunities, all of those things, making sure that we keep the school open and sending that message to children, to yourselves, to staff, to everybody that school is essential. We've got to work really hard, and that moral obligation, that moral duty we have to open the school, to support your children to be the best versions of themselves, to get a great education is so important, which is why I make that decision, and it's it is a decision for me whether or not we open the school, which is why we kept it open with the normal times so you could get on with your life. And then, you know, it's entirely up to you as parents what decision you make, whether you send your children to school, whether you think it's safe. That isn't my decision to make, you know. But equally, I shouldn't be the person who makes that decision for you by closing it for everyone. So that's really the thought process we go through, and I'm proud of the school. I'm proud of all the staff getting in after Monday. The children have been absolutely fantastic, and I think we've actually, considering, had a really good start to term. And I know there are some schools in Bradford. My youngest children were off all week. They've then got to pick up the term, and that sense of regulation and routines is really important for children to get back into as quickly as possible. So there's some of the reasons why we keep the school open. We will always endeavour to. It's got to be really severe and really serious for us to close the school. So I just wanted to share that thinking with you, and also just to say thank you for all the kind messages of support, the recognition of why, and it meant that you could get on with your lives. And I think that was the most important thing and the reassuring thing, that you recognise that. So thank you to all of those people who took the time out to send a very kind message into school. Thank you to all of you for getting your children in. Thank you to the staff for getting in, and also a massive thank you and well done to the kids, because they were absolutely fantastic last week. So we have got 5 more weeks left of this half term. It's going to fly by now. It's then quite a short half term, the next half term up until Easter with Ramadan and with Eid, and we'll share more guidance out about that as and when, nearer the time, I should say. And then we're into the exam season, and, you know, it's going to rapidly fly by. We're going to get the shoots of spring soon. So, hope there'll be a big thaw this weekend, and it will all be completely back to normal on Monday. So I look forward to seeing you around the building, around the school, I should say, and I look forward to seeing your children back in on Monday, so we can just crack on. All right, take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.